a while.
Okay. I All right, sweet. We're live. Let's just give it 1 second because Instagram is always lagging behind. It takes a minute. But
Sounds good.
yeah, just mentioned very excited to chat with you, both OHL alumni and basically we're just going to talk about your story. Like I want to hear what your story is right from around the time that hockey started to get serious for you. So I think for me personally, it was it was kind of like that OHL draft year, like that year before the OHL draft year started to come online. Were
Yeah.
you a top prospect for that OHL draft?
I was on a very good team in the GTHL. Markham Islanders, we were called. They're now the Markham Majors. But we had like David Clarkson, Corey Locke. We had some really good players on that team. We ended up winning the GTHL that year too. Um, yeah, but I was a good player, but I was undersized, and I think if the draft was to happen like nowadays, I'd probably be a way higher pick than I was, but I was a ninth round pick, I think like 184th overall or something like that. But at the time, it was funny. The draft was still live, so it was at the old Hershey Center, Mississauga, and I actually went down to the table. The Sioux drafted me. I went down to the table and was standing there for like 5 minutes, and one guy was like, "Can we help you?" I'm like, "Yeah, you guys drafted me." So,
No
so
way.
that was pretty funny. Yeah, it was pretty interesting start, and I think I was kind of an afterthought for them. And then my first time going up there for, I guess it would be called development camp, rookie camp, or something, I kind of made a good impression and did really well. And that's when they kind of started watching me. And then I went to Aurora, Tier 2 Junior A in Aurora that next year and was doing really well, leading the team in scoring. I think I was like top five in the league in scoring as a 16-year-old. And that's when they really came after me hard. So,
Okay,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
sounds like you found confidence, like making that jump minor hockey to that first year in tier two. You felt at home. You're playing
Yeah,
hockey.
that was probably like the biggest year for my development, I'd say, for my career was that year in Aurora. I got to play first and foremost. That's a big thing. Got
Mhm.
minutes and kind of ran with it, right? So, and
Mm.
we had a lot of 16-year-olds on that team. Because now it's changed now. You're only allowed two on every team. I think our team had like nine or 10 that year. So
Mm.
it was a good year for sure.
So was there an affiliation then between Aurora and the Sioux?
No, there wasn't. But Aurora had an affiliation kind of with Barry at the time. So we
Mm.
actually had Barry's like second round pick playing with us as well. So
That's
uh,
interesting because
yeah,
I realized this after because when I think of you, I think of Yuri, and
yeah,
when I was looking at your elite prospects, I was like, oh wow, he was in the Sioux. So I was
yeah.
you're in '84, right?
84, yeah,
Yeah, so
84.
I'm in
Yeah.
'86. So I got
Yeah.
drafted a couple years after you to the Sioux, and I only went
Okay.
to rookie camp. I didn't report for
Yeah.
my 16-year-old year. I was supposed to play there, and I just was like, I'm not ready. I don't know what happened. I just didn't go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we both ended up in the league. But there was an
Yeah.
affiliation between the Sioux and Chatham,
Okay.
Junior B. So I went to play when I was 16. I went to Chatham, um,
Mhm.
and played, and it was supposed to be part of my path. I was supposed to
Yeah.
report as a 17-year-old to the O and play, but I didn't. But yeah, that's a key. I think we should just draw attention to that you actually had an opportunity to play junior because a lot of kids that's sort of where everything falls apart. You get to junior and then you either play or you don't play, and
Yeah, for sure. It's especially now, I think it's like kids that are playing now because I just actually coached U16 last year and like players that were on my team. I think we have like one or two guys playing junior this year. So everybody else is kind of U18 or prep school or kind of like that. But like I said, the most important thing is like finding a place to play, like where you're going to play and keep developing and get minutes you need and stuff like that. So yeah, I was
mhm,
fortunate to get a good spot. So
mhm.
kind of
So then you just progressed naturally. You went to the O right after that, just 1 year tier two, and then
Yeah,
Fair.
1 year tier two, and I actually signed in the OHL at Christmas time that year.
Mm,
Um, so I signed in the O. I had a bunch of interest from schools too. I actually went on two visits my 16-year-old year in Aurora because I was doing so well. And looking back, if the rules were like they are now, I probably would have gone to school after the OHL too. But yeah, I just as a kid, I just wanted to play in the OHL. That's what I wanted to do, and it's ultimately where I ended up. And I was very good at putting up points up, so right away I kind of found my niche there in Sault Ste. Marie, and then was there for a year and a little bit, and then I got traded to Erie
mhm.
that next year, and then that's kind of like when my OHL career kind of took off. Is when I went to Erie, I became like a number one centerman there, and that's kind of when things started to really go for me. So.
So who
Yeah.
was in the Sioux then your rookie year? Was like Jeff Carter there? Or was
Jeff
he?
Carter and I were rookies together, yeah. And they also had another centerman, Peter Tadacek. He was a first round NHL pick as well, a Czech kid. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah. And then the next year, my first year there, actually, Craig Hartsburg coached me. He was amazing coach, like really good coach. And he left to go to Ottawa in the NHL after that year. And then John Van Beesbroek ended up taking over our team.
So Daly was
And
there. Trevor
yeah,
Daly.
yeah, Dales and I were he was my ride everywhere too. So I was hung out with Dales all the time. And now we both have kids the same age, so I see him all the time in
Yeah.
tournaments and stuff too. So,
So were you in the locker room when that whole controversy
no, I
happened?
was gone. Thank goodness I was gone. But
Yeah.
I heard all about it, and it's just not a great thing that
Yeah.
happened. But
I think
but
that was
yeah,
part of the reason I didn't. It wasn't the full reason, but it was just a little, it played a
yeah,
little piece of
yeah, for
maybe pushed me
sure.
over the edge. For
Yeah,
those
and
who
like
don't know, it was a big blow up with John Van Beesbroek. He dropped the N bomb. And
yeah,
for the record, I don't think he's racist at all. Just kind of,
yeah.
I don't know. People,
Yeah, I
when,
think he was new at what he was doing. I think
yeah.
and also even my story, like he came to me after practice one time and was like, "Hey, we need a goalie. We have three really good centermen. Two of them are going to be our first round picks. Like, I think
Mhm.
what do you think about getting traded?" I said, "Well, if you want to trade me, like, trade me, you can trade me. I'm a 17-year-old kid. What do you want me to say, right?"
Right.
And then like traded me, and then it came in the paper that I asked for a trade. I was like, I never asked for a trade. Like,
Hmm.
so yeah, but he we had a really good team, and that team got dismantled very quickly with him. So it was kind
Hmm.
of an interesting thing that happened, but ultimately it led to me having a lot of success in the OHL. So
Hmm.
it's
Yeah. Yeah. You were a big point guy, like dominant. I think like as soon as you got to Erie, you had your biggest year in the
yeah,
O,
the
like
the
almost
next
reaching 100
year,
points.
yeah, I almost got to 100 there the next year. So
And you were ahead
uh,
of your time. Like when I think of you, I think of a guy ahead of his time. You mentioned it at the start. You were not the biggest player, but also highly skilled playmaker. Um, but I remember seeing you like on TSN, like you got on TSN doing like
yeah,
lacrosse
yeah,
style stuff, like
yeah.
that's modern day.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty crazy when that happened because it was actually in Barrie when it happened. So I was as an
Mhm.
overager, but
What
yeah,
was
it
it
blew up.
exactly? Like it's
It was like our all-star skills competition thing, and
okay.
then yeah, everybody on the team's like, "Do it, do it, do it." I'm like, "Okay, I'll try it." So, anyways, it's yeah, and it kind of just blew up from there. It was crazy. It was
Mhm.
a wild thing, but. Yeah, now you see these kids nowadays, it's wild how good they are. It's
Yeah.
they make
Yeah.
me look awful. So it's
What was it
interesting.
like for yourself being an undersized player in the league at that time? Because this is like right around that watershed moment when things started to change. It was like that lockout in '04, I think it was.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it
you
was
played in like the clutch and grab era and were still able to produce.
yeah, it was a different game like when I first got to the OHL, and then my last year I was an overage. It was just a different it changed. The game was really starting to change. So
Mhm.
um I think coming out of the OHL, like as the game was changing, I think that's why I got kind of the opportunities I got. To be honest, it's
Mhm.
As an undersized guy too, it's like you have to earn everything you get too. So it's like nothing's really given you. You got to prove people wrong over and over and over again almost. So
Mhm.
um, you get a little chip on your shoulder and you kind of just roll with it, I guess you'd
Mhm.
say. But I had guys that I like looked up to, like Steve Sullivan, Marty St. Louis, like these undersized guys, and I just tried to be as much like them as I could because they were having success. So, you find a guy that kind of looks like you, plays like you, and you kind of try to mold it after them and,
Mhm.
you know, go like that, I guess. So,
Yeah. Did you have any interest, like, around NHL draft time? Were you talking to teams? What was your agent saying?
yeah, like so my draft year, I was rated pretty high actually. I think I was 180th in the draft or 82nd or something like that. I don't know. There was a chance I would get drafted, but there was a chance I wouldn't. So I ended up staying home and just watching on the computer.
Mhm.
And then seeing some guys get drafted, you kind of get disheartened, right? It's like, oh man, how's that guy getting
Yeah,
drafted?
yeah.
Um, but yeah, that like right after the draft, I actually got invited to Dallas Stars training camp. So I went there, had a great camp, like great rookie camp, got invited to main camp, was at main camp. Um, Ended up getting a hat trick in the inter squad game, and then I stayed there for like 3 or 4 exhibition games that year too.
Oh,
So it
really?
was like myself and their first round pick were the only like first year guys left.
Mhm.
And then they were like, oh, we're really interested in signing you, this, that, the other thing, and then kind of just never panned out. And then I ended up going back to Dallas like 2 more times. Like that was kind of the team
Mhm.
I was with. And then after my overage year, they offered me an AHL East Coast contract, like a two-way. And I said, yeah, I don't think I want to do that. If I'm going to go to the East Coast, I'd rather just be able to get called up anywhere.
Yeah.
And ultimately, they're the team. Like, so their head European scout was on the board with a Finnish league team. So that's kind of
Okay,
how I got to
okay.
Finland right out of the
Hold on,
OHL.
hold on,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah.
That you nothing about your path is conventional. I wanna
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
back up to those first NHL camps
Yeah.
because, yeah, you bust on the scene and you have a good camp.
Yeah.
So, how does that happen? Did you feel like you wanted or you felt like you belonged there? Was there any struggle with confidence? Like,
Yeah.
you're undrafted, you just show up and still find a way to do
Not
well? Like, where
really,
were you
because
at
like
mentally?
that's what I was doing in my life, man. Like it was like I wasn't supposed to be make the OHL, and I just went there and did my thing. Like it was just that's what kind of like how my path went. It was just everywhere I went, I had to prove myself. So it was like that chip on your shoulder, like, yeah, all these guys got drafted, but I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna be good. So it was
Mhm,
more like it was more like a inside me. I'm like, I'm gonna do this, like that's kind of what it was. And you know, I would say too, like probably went against me a bit with like people thought I had an attitude problem, but it was more like it was a chip on my shoulder, right? I was just like, no one believes in me except
mhm,
my family and me, right? So
mhm.
and you know how hockey is once you get a label, it's a label, right? It's
Yeah.
done. So
Well, what do you mean the bad attitude? Do you
well,
like
like people would just say
teammate
like,
or just
oh,
like on the ice?
yeah, on the ice, kind of like it was, I don't know, like I remember in Dallas one time, it was like, oh, like one coach was like, why did you leave Erie? And I'm like, well, I was an overage. I wanted to try to win my last year. I asked for a trade in Erie. I was like, can I
Mhm,
go somewhere where like we're gonna have a chance to win, And it was like he kind of like looked at me like, well, that's kind of selfish. No, I'm like, well, I don't think it's selfish. I was like, just
mhm.
wanted to try to win, man. So,
Yeah.
anyways, it's yeah, and as you go through hockey, like I said, I had like that chip on my shoulder that I like everyone was against me kind of thing. So it's maybe why I didn't get certain opportunities. Maybe I don't know. Like it's hard
Mhm,
to say because like when you go through, you're like, man, I was doing so well. What was the problem? Like I don't just kind of
mhm.
question it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's so difficult, looking back. It is so difficult. It's something I personally still struggle with. I just like, let it go. It's done.
Yeah, yeah.
It's in the past. Just let it
Yeah,
go.
but ultimately like hockey gave me a lot,
Yeah.
so like you can't like look back and be like, "Oh, what if, what if, what if?" It's just, hockey gave me so much. So, it's still
Yeah.
giving me stuff, so it's a great sport, a great game, so.
Yeah. So you played your OA year, asked for a trade. You ended up in Barrie. And then,
Yeah,
so who did you guys play in playoffs that
we
year?
lost to Ottawa first round, and like you guys, I think you were in Mississauga at the time, maybe.
Yeah. Was that the year
You
London wins?
London wins, yes.
Okay.
Because like when I got traded to Barrie, London actually had a deal for me. My agent called me and said, London's got a deal for you done. They want you. And I was like, oh man, yeah. I was like licking my chops. I'm like, I'm never gonna lose
Yeah.
another hockey game in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then like our GM in here is like, no, we're not trading you to the same division. So went to Barrie, and we actually, like, I thought us and you guys were probably the top two teams on that side that year. And
Yeah. Yeah. We thought we were going to the Mem Cup.
so did we. That's
Yeah.
what, like, because I was like, man, we're going for sure. Like, all we have to do is win our side, and I thought we could for sure.
Yeah.
But we ended up getting upset by Ottawa in 7 games in the first
Okay.
round.
Yeah.
So, and then
With
Ottawa ended
Van
up going to the
Carey,
Mem
eh?
Cup.
Just
Yeah, Mancari, Bonello. Yeah, and then they ended up going to the Mem Cup. So it
mm,
was, yeah, it was,
interesting.
yeah. But then right out after that happened, I ended up going to the East Coast for playoffs that year too. So I went to Reading and had a lot of success there. I played really well there. So,
Mhm,
um, and then the next year I went back to Dallas again to training camp, and
mhm.
that's kind of where my pro career took off.
So what was that like going, you finish up in Barrie and then it's like, okay, maybe you go home for a couple days, but then right on the plane
I
and now
actually
you're
went,
playing pro
yeah, I
hockey.
went, yeah, I went right from Barrie, and I went right to Reading. I went
Okay.
right to Reading. Um, yeah, I got there, and I think a day later was playing a game. So it was
Mhm,
kind of like no time to think, just play. And
mhm,
again, like, started as the 10th forward, and by like the third game, I was probably playing on the power play and everything. So
mhm.
yeah, like things like really moved fast for me when I would get an opportunity, which was pretty good, right? So
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, so you mentioned that you coulda went and played a two-way contract, American League,
yeah,
East Coast, but declined that.
yeah,
What about if it was just an American League contract?
yeah. I
Would
would
you
have
have taken it
stayed.
then?
I would have stayed for sure. I think for sure I would have stayed. Um, I also was like contemplating going to school too, kind of like going to
Yeah.
Canadian University as well. Because like when I signed my OHL contract, I had 4 years of Canadian paid for. Like at the time, it was like only first rounders got that. But
Mhm.
because I was doing so well in tier two and had so much school interest, the Sioux kind of said, "Hey, we'll give you a first round package." So that's kind of what tipped me over the edge too. So I
Mhm.
had that too, and I was talking to all the teams out east too, like St. Mary's and UNB, and
Yeah.
so that's something that I was kind of contemplating too. But I wanted to play pro, like that. I
Yeah.
wanted to play hockey. I was all in on hockey. So
Yeah.
um,
What is your family's background? Are your parents academics, like corporate people? Like are they what do they have influenced you to go the college route after
yeah,
or
my
uni route?
parents were like, It's up to you. Like it's your journey. It's what you want to do." Like, I think they really believed in me too, so they
Mhm.
were they were kind of pushing me to do what I could. My mom's a real estate agent. My dad's he's just like a shift worker. So um, yeah, they were like in my corner, whatever I wanted to do. So I had
Mhm.
really good support system. So
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it's when you're and then when that opportunity came to go to Finland, to like one of the best leagues, and I would say in the world, like it's a great league. So I was like, yeah, I'll go there for sure. And
Mhm.
they actually sent one of their draft picks there that year too. So it was me, him, and I were the two imports on the team, young
Mhm.
guys, like 21 years old, both of us. And they actually came over, like Carbonneau and Armstrong flew over like 3 times during the year to meet with us and talk about how we were doing and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. So you were 21 at that
yeah,
time.
yeah,
So you Yeah, so most players, for the record, people listening, like you finish in
Yeah.
the O, a lot most guys, if they can go pro, they go to the coast or they go to the A or they're up and down the NHL. Very few straight to the NHL. We're talking like
Yeah.
Crosby's,
Yeah.
McDavid's guys.
Yeah.
But you go straight to Europe. This is highly unconventional, but
Yeah.
honestly, the way my career panned out, it's like unless you're going to be playing full time in the NHL, like you're better off going just straight for the bag, you
Yeah.
know,
Like,
and
yeah.
getting paid
Like,
pretty well and starting at the top,
yeah.
you know?
Like I was making like really good money too.
Yeah.
So it's like I could have played in the coast and been making like peanuts, but I was then like when they showed me the contract, I'm like, whoa, yeah, let's do this, like,
Yeah.
yeah. Plus I was playing in an amazing league. So I kind of did it backwards,
Yeah.
like kind of like it was kind of backwards of what normal guys do, right? So I kind
Mhm.
of went to Europe and then I came back. So
Yeah. Were you
it was
married or girlfriend,
no,
single?
I was single too at the time. So
Okay, so what's
uh
that like? You're 21, I mean, that's a pretty
yeah,
radical thing to like, you've lived a away from home, but to go
yeah,
to across the
yeah,
world.
exactly. It's like it's kind of like being at college, but being in Europe, like your first time on your own. I had a roommate, which was Matt Nickerson, the other draft pick from Dallas. We were together, but like, yeah, you're kind of just like figuring things out on the fly. Plus, you're in a different country and don't speak the language. So, it was interesting because like when we first got over there, like Finland's dark. It's real dark, like all the time in the winter. It's dark.
Yeah.
So we were like going to practice, coming back, like sleeping like all day. And like I was like, man, I think
Yeah.
something's wrong with me. I
Yeah.
keep sleeping all the time. So I went to the team doctor. I'm like, I think I like something's wrong. Like he's like, it's because of the weather, like it's always dark, so your body's feeling like you're tired, right? So he's like, just try to stay up, have a couple coffees, and you'll kind of get used to it. So yeah,
Mm,
after a while, I kind of figured it out. But yeah,
mhm.
it was an interesting experience too. Like our apartment was like it was like a frat house.
Oh, really?
It was interesting. Yeah, it was because we were the young guys, right? So it was like the
Yeah.
place to come and hang out and play video games, and like all the guys in the team would stop by, and it was pretty cool. It's
Yeah.
cool.
How are you feeling hockey-wise? Like they always said, skill guys are gonna thrive over in Europe, the bigger ice and the less physical game. Did you feel that was true once you got there?
Not really. Like it took me a while to like kind of settle in, to be honest. Like Finland, they play like a lot like North America. That game's the most like North America, I would say, in Europe. Like
Yeah.
the rinks aren't as big either. I think the rinks are a bit smaller there too, more like NHL sized. And they play hard, man. They play real hard, and it's 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 like a very defensive minded game too. So it was hard to
Mhm.
find offense, and um, but yeah, like I figured it out. Um, and ended up we had a great year that year. We actually went to the finals of the league. We were picked up, finished like last place in the league. So we were a, we were a young team. Like no one really picked us to do anything really well, and we ended up having a great year. I actually played on a line with Leo Komarov. That was the year he was drafted to the Leafs.
Mm,
So got to play with him and another guy named Jesse Yonsu, who was drafted to the Islanders that year too. So it was like we had a young line too. So
mhm,
and those two guys got drafted to the NHL that year. So it was kind of cool. So
mhm, mhm. Yeah, so I'm just thinking you already did make the connection, but it's just interesting that you were on this path with or you were affiliated with the Stars, but it was kind of the Stars that got you
yeah,
to Finland. It
yeah,
wasn't like, "Okay, I'm done chasing the NHL dream. I'm gonna find an agent, a European agent, and try to get over it." It was sort of a facilitated thing for you.
yeah, yeah. It was kind of through the stars that I got there. So
Mhm.
and like I think they were high on me kind of too. So I mean, as high as you could be on an undrafted guy, I guess. But
Mhm.
um, yeah, and then that next summer they actually offered me a one-way HL contract too. But then I got a massive offer from a team in Germany. So I was like, oh,
Yeah, yeah.
22. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Germany. So
Yeah, so what was
yeah.
that conversation like? Did you talk that over with your family? It's like, "Oh, I could
Yeah, my
still go
agent, my
back and pursue."
family, like everybody kind of, and I knew I wasn't ready. I was going to be in the AHL or I was going to be in the AHL getting sent down. Um, like I wasn't my game wasn't mature enough. It wasn't ready to play in the NHL at the time. So I was like, you know, these leagues are amazing. I'm playing against NHL players in these leagues. So
Yeah.
I'm like, plus like, the money you're making's better, like, and you're home every night in your own bed. It was just easier on the body too. Like you're
Yeah.
you're working out every week, like 3 times a week too. So it was more like a development thing. I looked at it as like, hey, I'm gonna play in a great league and I'm gonna be able to practice more, get better, like just get better, right? It's not such a grind on your body either. So
Yeah.
ended up going to Germany that year to the DL, had a pretty good year again. Um,
What
and
was the
then
difference
kind
like Finland to Germany?
of Germany
Germany
was a
kind of tougher league too. Like it's more
yeah,
physical.
Germany at the time though, it was like a lot of older guys on my team. Like I was probably the youngest guy. Um, Ended up getting really close with our captain. His name was Dan Lambert. It was hilarious because like I called him dad. Like all the guys in the team joke because his family actually didn't come, so
Yeah.
him and I like hit it off, and he kind of like took care of me that year. So it was pretty cool. So
Yeah.
then he ended up when he retired, he ended up coaching in the NHL a bunch. He was just in Calgary last year, but I think this year he's not there this year. But yeah, it's kind of cool. Like well, I've played so many places and met so many different guys and still keep in touch with them. It's pretty cool. Like,
Hmm.
all the connections you make and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
super unconventional path. Super unconventional
Hmm.
for sure.
During that time, like you're still pretty young, and I feel like we just as we mature,
Yeah.
we have more of an appreciation for how cool it is to live abroad and just see the world and having November break and just traveling, all these things. When
Yeah.
you're 21, 22, 23, you're not I feel like you're just not there yet.
No.
Did you have
Yeah.
any awareness of how cool
Yeah.
it was to be doing
Not
both of those?
really, to be honest. Like I was just kind of in the moment and doing things like during breaks. But I went one time with a teammate to England, London, went one time to Barcelona. So like just doing a bunch of stuff like that was so cool where you look it back and now you're like, man, like I was pretty fortunate to be able to have all those experiences too.
Mhm.
Also like my first year after playing in Finland, I came home and all my buddies are at university, so I'm going to visit all them, spending all this money here, there, that, bought a car, like,
Yeah.
oh my, and then I go to Germany. I'm like, man, I have like almost no money left. So
No
next
way.
next year I came home and my mom and dad are like, my mom's a real estate and she's like, you're gonna buy a house. So I bought a house after my second year pro and probably the best decision I ever made, right? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah. Yeah, back then, oh
uh
man.
yeah.
Huh.
So having done what I did too, like set me up for the rest of my life as well too. Like just starting to make smart decisions and because I was making like really good money at the time. So
Yeah. Were you
um
6 figures
yeah,
euro?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
So
it's really insane. I don't think people really realize how much money that actually converts to once you do the exchange and the fact
yeah.
that you're in your
And
early
then
20s with no expenses,
yeah, exactly. You have no
no
housing
taxes.
expense, no car expense. They give you a house, a car, tax-free money. And yeah, and then like because then like you're coming back and you're like looking at like I eventually did come back too, and I was just like I think the next year I went back to Finland. Um, Ended up leaving there after the year, then went to Sweden, and
Mhm.
then after that year, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go back. Like I had met my wife at the time. We were married that summer, and then we were.
Where did you meet, you guys? Back in
Well,
Oakville
I
or
met her when I played Tier 2 in Aurora. That's when I first met her, but we didn't start dating till after my year in Germany. When I got home that summer, that's kind of when we started dating, and then we were engaged like 8 months later, and then married a year later. So it was
and then
pretty
when did
pretty
you have
quick.
kids? 'Cause you have a couple kids, right?
Yeah, so then that next year, uh, she came with me to Europe, and then we we were we got pregnant with our first child, and then that summer she was like, you know what, I want to stay home and have the baby here around family and stuff. So that's when I was like, you know what, I haven't tried here, might as well try.
Mhm.
Um, so signed a PTO in Wilkes-Barre, and then went to camp there, and ended up signing a contract in the Central League that year too to start. So Wilkes-Barre got sent down in the Central League. We were there with, so we just had our son. We were down in the Central League set up there pretty good. Like it was a great setup. We had an amazing setup down there in Tulsa. And then like 20 games in the season, I was doing really well. I had like 40 some points in 20 games and got called up to Springfield at around Christmas time, and yeah, I went there, and Brooke and my son stayed in Tulsa, and I was living in a hotel in Springfield. Got there, started doing really well right away.
Okay,
Um,
wait, we gotta
yeah,
pause because this is
yeah,
just
yeah,
so strange that
yeah,
you went from like the pretty much top of the mountain in
yeah,
Europe. I mean, the next steps maybe KHL.
yeah,
But I mean, in terms of the big picture, making crazy money at a very good league, you know, you're an
yeah,
import, getting all the opportunity, living this, but then you come back and you're in the Central League. This is
yeah,
like
yeah,
you you could have had your hand almost handpick where you wanted to play in Europe. You would have got
yeah,
at least a they would have been picking up the phone
yeah,
to entertain that. But now you're in the Central League. And, like,
yeah.
what's happening for you? Are you like just fine with
No,
that? Are you
I just,
chilling?
I like deep down, I really wanted to try back here because like I, I felt like I could play, right? So I really wanted to give it a go, and like financially I was fine. So I was like, you know what, let's just do it for a year and see what happens,
Mm.
right? So
Were you afraid of getting like because in Europe, well, I guess you would have proved yourself there that you can play. So coming to the Central, you had no fear of like, oh, they're going to see I played in the Central League. I'm not going to be able to get DL offers or
yeah,
wherever.
not not really. At the time, I was just like, I want to do this. So I was like, I'm gonna do it. If it doesn't work out, I'll just go back to Europe. Like that's kind of what I've decided.
Yeah.
And plus, like we were young, had our first child, and my wife was just more comfortable back here at the time. And I was like, so let's go for it, you know? And it ended up being a crazy year, man.
Yeah.
So then, you know, so I'm in Tulsa, I get called up to Springfield. We're actually like, where were we? We were like right on the border of Mexico and Texas. I forget the name of it. It's a Rio Grande Valley, maybe Rio Grande. They were there.
Mhm.
And my agent at the time called me at like 5 in the morning and was like, I was on the sleeper bus sleeping. He's like, hey, Springfield's going to call you up today. You got to find a flight. We got to go find it here. I'm like, what? So I go up to the front of the bus to my coach at the time, Bruce Ramsey. I'm like, hey, Springfield's calling me up. And he was pretty, like, he was upset because I was like the league scorer of the team. He's like, upset, but happy for me at the same time. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, shit.
It's part of
Like,
the business.
he's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
so from there, I like got a flight to Dallas to Hartford. I think I flew
Wait, so
Dallas to
you were
Hartford.
on the sleeper bus and then you were going back to Tulsa, back home, or
No,
were you
we
starting
were
that
on our
trip?
way to Rio Grande to play Rio Grande.
Okay, so
So
what'd you have with you in your bag? Like, do you just
just
have
a just
backpack,
my
suit?
just my backpack and my road clothes. That's it. So
Yeah, that
uh
happened to me once too.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I but this is a crazy story. So I I fly from Rio Grande to Dallas, Dallas to Hartford. They pick me up in Hartford. My bag's not there, my hockey bag. So my hockey bag didn't make it. I'm like, great. I finally get called to the AHL. My equipment's not here. So, anyways, I go to the hotel. It's like late at night, pregame skate in the morning, game the next day. I'm like, frick, I hope my bag gets here tomorrow, man. So I
Mhm.
go to the pregame skate, and the trainer's like, where's your bag? I'm like, I don't have it. He's like, okay. So they're like scrounging up equipment for me. So I'm wearing all this mismatched equipment for pregame skate, and like skates, like no one's skates fit me because I have small skates. So I ended up wearing the equipment guy's like sun skates for pregame skate.
No way.
Yeah, and then do the pregame skate, get through it, and then the coach comes up to me. He's like, okay, it's very good. I'm like, well, if my equipment doesn't come, I'm like, what am I going to play? He's like, well, you look fine. You can play with this. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, so anyways, I get off the ice. I'm like calling the airline company. They're like, hey, it's going to land at this time. And thank goodness it came in time for the game. So got the equipment and played against Providence. That I remember vividly. We played Providence. I had like two goals and assists or something, and kind of ran from there, like at that
That's
level.
big.
And yeah,
That's see, that's big. You kinda glazed over it, but that is
yeah,
huge. Like, that
yeah,
is it because you had a phenomenal year that year, and you stayed. I assume you got on the power play and you, like, found
yeah.
your
Like
home
right
and
from there, like Springfield was struggling at the time too. Like they weren't winning at all, and they had
mhm.
injuries and this, that, the other thing. And
Let me just check what year this was exactly.
yeah, well, it was 2009, 10. It was so it was 2009, 10 because it was the first year of my son. It was my son's birth year.
Oh, they were
So
the Falcons back then.
Falcons, yeah, Falcons, yeah. Yeah, so I ended up like I was there in the hotel for like so then I was like, you know what, Brooke, just you and Hudson come. And so I'm living in a hotel with my wife and son, like my little baby, like
Mhm.
first year of his life, he's living in a hotel for 2 months.
Was it at least a Residence Inn or
Yeah,
Staybridge?
I was okay, but like we didn't like we literally had like a little kitchenette, that's it. But literally taking him for walks in the hotel, like it's like so it was pretty wild like to think about and then like sure enough with like 3 weeks left in the year, I get a note in my stall to go find an apartment. I'm like, come on, now you're gonna make me go find an apartment. Like
What?
it's crazy. I was like, okay, so we ended up finding a place for like a month. We were there for a month in Springfield in an apartment, and then the season was over. And then that next summer, um, that's when I finally I signed an NHL contract with the Islanders. So it was like,
Oh, she got the
yeah,
NHL deal.
yeah, I
Nice.
got
So
an
how did
NHL
that come about?
contract.
Did you know that was coming during towards the end of the
Well,
season?
like playing in Springfield, we played Bridgeport a lot,
Yeah.
and then the coach in Bridgeport like really liked me. I My agent called me and said, "Hey, he really likes you. He's gonna the Islanders really like you." So they were talking, and then I think it was maybe end of July. He called me. I remember I was in my kitchen with my wife, and he's like, "Hey, how's this sound?" I'm like, "Yeah, sounds great. Like NHL contract, anything. I'll sign anything." Like, so it was my first deal I got to sign actually. So and I think I was 26 at the time. So
Yeah.
pretty
Man,
cool.
that's so
Pretty
crazy.
cool.
You're
Yeah.
like, everything about your story is the complete opposite of how it's
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
typically done, but man, it's just seems like
Yeah.
a divine thing. You were meant to
Yeah.
be exactly where you were at all times.
Yeah. So yeah, signed that contract. It was like it was crazy. Like I never would have thought it would have happened. Like I was in the Central League the year before. I was like I don't know, just like everywhere I went, I just like had to prove myself, right? So
Yeah.
again, went to camp with the Islanders, did really well in camp too. Like played 3 exhibition games, did really well.
Mhm.
Sent down to the AHL. Started the year off like super well. I had like 15 points in 9 games producing, and then I got hurt. Like I hurt my knee, and I was out for like 2 months with the MCL, grade 4 MCL. And
Mhm.
while I was hurt, like 3 centermen got called up to the Islanders. So I was like, oh
Mhm.
man, like
Mhm.
tough. And then
Mhm.
that year, actually, the AHL coach, like he really liked me. Like you know how it is in hockey. If someone likes you,
Yeah.
like it takes one person to like you, and like he's probably the reason I got that contract. He was my coach in the AHL, and the Islanders fired their coach and brought him to the NHL. And then the assistant coach took over in Bridgeport and wasn't a fan of mine at all. So when I came back from injury, I kind of started on the fourth line and, had to work my way all the way back up again. I ended up having a pretty good year. I did really pretty well. I think I was like second or third in the team in scoring at the end of the day and missed a lot of games that year. Um, but yeah, kind of the next summer again, I was like, waiting, talking to the agent. Like Columbus was really interested in signing me, maybe this, that, the other thing. And I had a family now, so I'm like, man, I gotta make money, right? So
Mhm.
my actual coach in Springfield, that coached me in Springfield, got a job in Austria, and he called me and was like, hey, do you want to come? And we debated it for a while. We held out as long as we could. Um,
Hmm.
but ultimately I ended up going with him to Austria
Hmm.
and probably the best thing like that. And then I was there for like 7 years and that same team in Austria was
Yeah.
it was the best. I played actually with Uzis there too. So
Yeah.
we
So
went we went together.
you made your home in Linz, and that's a good
Yeah.
league too. It's a great league. And I think that's
Yeah.
probably like it's probably the perfect league for yourself because you're a big fish in that league.
Yeah.
Like light it
Yeah.
up and you're like the guy, but you're also making good money in that kind
Yeah,
of world.
exactly. And at the time, like my first year there, we won the championship and then I ended up signing a 3-year contract after that. So just security too, because I had a family and then we grew our family there. Like that's where our family really grew. Like had two more boys in Austria actually too. So that was like our home. So
Mhm,
that place is probably the most special to me in my career is Linz. Like that's where kind of
mhm.
I grew my family and where I kind of made home, I'd say,
Yeah.
so yeah.
So during all these years, where are you training? Are you at in Oakville
Yeah,
there?
I was
Yeah.
in Oakville when I was younger. I trained with a guy named Kerry Gordon kind of personally and then kind of found BTNL in Oakville. It was a hockey specific gym. Was training there in the summers, kind of every summer and yeah, it was a good spot. Like lots of guys were there and good skates and
Mhm.
um yeah, I would have to leave like because I was in Europe, I'd have to leave and that's the one thing I didn't like the most was like leaving
In August.
August. Yeah. I think actually one year I was with you at the airport. Remember like our flights got canceled. It was like it was wild. Like I think
Yeah,
that
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we
That
always
was
had, like, we didn't officially meet until just a few years ago when we were playing
yeah,
senior,
yeah,
and, but you were always one of those guys a couple years older than me, big sort of big name in the OHL, following your journey,
yeah.
so, yeah, it was nice to cross paths eventually, we all do, I feel, in this hockey
Yeah,
world, it's
that's
not
just a
that
small
big.
world. So yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah,
then retired and now um I'm in hockey still. Like I run my own uh academy in Oakville and three boys playing, coaching them and just around the game still. So it's
yeah.
fun.
So coming out like, how did your retirement and all that come about? Like, was it something that was on your mind?
Yeah, like the kids were getting older. My oldest was like I think he was 10, 9 or 10 and like it's bigger than you at that point and I was just
Yeah,
like I want my kids to grow up around family and grow up where and have opportunities like I did and stuff like that. So yeah, I could have probably played a couple more years for sure, but I was kind of the last couple of years I actually did the firefighting program through the PHPA.
yeah.
Just 'cause I was like, yeah, something I could get into. Um, so my last year, I knew it was gonna be my last year. When we went, we ended up redoing our house while we were gone, all that stuff. So we moved back to like a brand new house, all that kind of stuff, and got home and went after fire for a year or two, and then I started getting into like skill development stuff with hockey, and I was just like, I really like this. I'm gonna go at this hard too. So
Mhm.
firefighting didn't pan out. Like it was hard. It was really hard to get on. And then once I started doing the skill development stuff and I really enjoyed it. So just kind of
Mhm.
ran with that. So
So have you ever thought about getting into coaching? Like, I feel like if you're
yeah,
set up right now as a skill coach, it's kinda hard to leave that and go back into that hockey.
yeah, like I'm coaching like my sons, like I coached U16 AAA last year. Now I'm back down to the U14s AAA. Um, so I am in coaching and it's something like now that I'm like once my kids are older and gone, like something I want to do for sure. Like I've
Mhm.
had opportunity over the years. I had a couple guys reach out like, hey, you want to do this? And it's just with the kids, it's tough. Like I want to be around them too.
Yeah.
So
Pro
I was
team?
gone enough during my career that like I don't want to be at the rink from 9 to 6 and on the bus and all that. Like right now, I want to be around them. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a perfect scenario right now. And then once they're graduated, I'll probably get into it for sure.
Mhm.
I want to
So
do.
how did you get that, get it all set up? Like, did you get any type of training and skill development? Did you do any programs from Hockey Canada, or did you just
Uh,
make it up?
Not really. Like, just like kind of learning as you go, learning from different guys. Like, um, in the summers, I was actually working at BTNL on the ice. I was doing all their skill skates for the young kids. Like my
Mm-hmm.
last couple of years, so it was always been a passion of mine, like to teach. So, doing that, and then my first year I retired. I was trying to get on with fire, but at the time I'm like, yeah, and do something else. So I was working for an academy too, like doing that kind of stuff and just learning on the fly, learning as you go, like just kind of thinking about things you were good at and how you translated it and just trying to apply it to other kids. And
Mm-hmm.
like the one thing, like, because I had a kid at the time too, so I was taking him to like these skates and taking him here, taking him there, and it was like guys would just like throw out a bunch of stuff on the ice and be like, "Hey, go around this, do this." Like, I'm like, well, like not a lot of guys were like teaching like the game, like teaching, like if you're in this scenario, what are you gonna do here? Like that kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
which I felt like was like missing, and like the stopping and correcting and like you know there's kids that look amazing in practice. You get them in a game, they don't know what they're doing, right? So it's like more like the IQ aspect of it. Can you teach it? I think you can. Like you can teach a component of it, but because like that was kind of like my thing, right? Like I saw the game well, I read the game well. Um, some kids have that right away. Some kids it takes a while to like get it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
um so like if you're gonna come on the ice with me, rarely are there apparatuses on the ice. It's more like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
there's a puck on the yellow. How are you getting it off? Are you getting it to the middle, or like what are you doing? That kind of stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
a little
So
bit.
when you run skates, like, do you run them by yourself or do you have someone with you?
So I have someone with you actually, an ex-player too. He works with me all the time, Eric Lizon. He was in the East Coast,
Mm-hmm.
more of a tough guy, but yeah, he's with me a lot as well. So um we'll do something together for a while, then we'll split up into like little smaller groups and at
Okay.
each end.
You do
And
stations or is it like just
yeah,
half?
sometimes stations, sometimes together, sometimes like four and D will split. It's just depending on the week, what we're kind of trying to cover that week kind of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
do a lot of like you don't have the puck, how you get it back, that kind of thing, like angling, containing, like all that kind of stuff too. So
Mm-hmm.
which like you go around Toronto, a hockey school's a dime a dozen, to be honest. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's just like I feel like it's like taking the extra time and like really working with kids to like help them out like with the
Mm-hmm.
game. So yeah.
Yeah. What are you seeing with the young kids, the next generation? Like, I'm in these groups now. I'm getting more into performance mindset coaching,
Yeah.
dealing with them once I get to a certain level, you got to start incorporating, preparation and just dealing with confidence and slumps and all
Yeah.
these different things. But the parents I feel like are baggage all the times for these kids. Like, what is it? Are you seeing that too, or am I just nuts?
Yeah, that's bang on. Bang on. So it's 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 hard because like I'm coaching too, so you see it with the parents, like they're very involved, like very, very involved, and it's almost like they want it more than the kids sometimes. So, um, but at the same time, I have kids, so I understand where they're coming from because when you have a kid, you want the best for them. You always want the best for your kid, right? But there's you can almost be a hindrance sometimes too if you want it too much for them. So.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's tough, like especially coaching. Like you're almost you're managing parents more than sometimes than you're coaching the kids. So it gets tricky for sure.
Hmm. Hmm. Nice.
And the
Yeah.
kids too, like nowadays too, they're different. Like it's a different mindset than when we were coming up. Um, I think social media has a lot to do with it. I think, it's a lot about like how you look, how the perspective of how things look rather than, actually just like going out and doing things, right? So,
Hmm.
Kids are like instant gratification now. They want instant gratification. I see it with my own kids. Like they go through these short videos and they just want instant gratification. And you know, when you're playing a sport, it takes a while to see something get better, right? So
Hmm.
it's an interesting era, I'd say. Very interesting
Hmm.
era.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think, I know we play these games, but if you were coming along the same Rob Hisey in today's world, how do you think you would have fared out in the hockey world?
Yeah, I think fairly well. Probably, it's hard to say. Like I do it sometimes too. I catch myself, oh man, if I was playing now, I would be
Yeah.
so much. But like it's hard to say like what you would be. But I would be successful, I think, just because I always I I played with that chip on my shoulder. I was a smart player. I really wanted it. So I mean, if you really, really want something, you put your mind to it, I think you can do it. So
Hmm.
it's that's ultimately what it comes down to. I tell my players that all the time. It's like I can teach you this, I can teach you that, I can show you this, I can do so much for you, but ultimately you get on the ice, it's who wants it more. That's the game. And it'll always be that way. When you look at it like look at the NHL now, it's like in the playoffs, it's like will. It's
Yeah.
Florida's will is just unbelievable. So and you see it shift after shift. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, you can look all great and good, but at the end of the day, hockey's going to come down to who wants it more. That's how it goes all the time. So,
Hmm. Okay. Can I just ask you one final thing then?
yeah,
You've had a long career in pro hockey. You've been a lot of different places. You fought uphill, downhill, all this way and that. Like, if there's just one lesson or one piece of advice or just one insight that you've had throughout your career that you would, give to your own sons, just what would that be?
yeah, I think it's like just never give up, man. Just, you know, any opportunity you get, you take it. You never give up. You keep pushing. If you really want it, you just keep going. Like keep your head down, keep working. I'm going through it with my oldest boy now because like he's graduating minor hockey. He's at prep school. You know, he started off doing really well. Now he's kind of going down the lineup a bit. And he called me. He's like, Dad, what the heck? I'm like, well, welcome to the real world, man.
Yeah.
So work your way out of it. Go see the coach, see what he wants, like talk to him and, you know, figure it out. It's like you got to figure it. This is your time now to figure it out and see how much you really want this. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
just never give up. That's my biggest thing. Like the second you have doubt in your mind, you're done. I feel like you gotta. It's tough. It's a mindset. It's because it's not easy. And anything in life, it's not easy. I think so.
Hmm.
It's and you need people in your corner too. Like you got
Yeah.
to have people in your corner helping you, and that's a big thing too. So
Man, that stood out to me. What do you want? Work your way out.
yeah,
Your way
yeah,
out. That's it.
yeah, yeah. That's keep your head down and work. That's it. Like if you get
Hmm.
an opportunity, you got to take the opportunity. You got to do something with it. That's
Yeah.
it's there's so many guys that want it, so you got to find something that separates you from other people. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome, man. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for sharing the story. I always wondered the man who had the unconventional path, but
yeah.
such a
Very
cool story.
unconventional. Yeah, very unconventional, but I think everybody's story. You could talk to anybody. It's pretty cool, like just to hear different perspectives. I really
Mhm.
enjoyed Mike's story too. It was awesome. So
Yeah. Can I just ask you one more thing? Like, I have a player in my career that I came across where I was like, wow. It was like one of those like, oh shit, this guy's sick. You
yeah,
know? Did
yeah,
you have any player that you came across that gave you that, or was it just you always thought you
yeah.
could
Like
beat
I
it?
had a couple. Like there's a couple. I was like, holy smokes! Like I remember my first training camp in Dallas, Mike Modano. I was like, it's crazy. Like like some of the stuff he was doing. I was like, what the heck? Like lifting guys stick with one hand and taking the puck and like crazy. That was eye-opening for me. Like this guy's unbelievable. So that was a cool one. when I was with the Islanders, Tavares, just to see like how he worked and like he just was like so it was hockey oriented, everything, man, everything, he like meticulous about everything. Like he was someone that was like, whoa, like that guy's, and he was
Oh,
young at the
very
time
good.
too. He
Yeah,
was
he's so
young, so that was another one I think. And then in Europe, I played with in Finland. I played with a Finnish guy, Marco Kivimäki. He never played over here or anything, but man, he was special, man. That guy was so good. He was so good. So
hmm
yeah, it was. Yeah, there's been a number over the years, and then I actually got to coach a kid just this past year, and you see it in some guys, right? Like you see it in some players
Yeah.
that are just like they got it. It's like
Mhm.
so. Yeah, there's now seeing the next generation and just seeing some kids that you just know. Like when you get around it, you just know it, right? It's
Yeah.
like you just like you're going somewhere. So yeah, it's cool to see.
Awesome, man. Well, appreciate your time.
Yeah,
And yeah, thanks for sharing. I think people are going to find some good value, at least some inspiration. It's an
yeah.
incredible story.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Okay. Rob Hisey,
Okay.
everyone. Thank
Have
you.
a good one.